All right, I'd like to call this meeting to order. Evelyn, could I get a roll call, please?
Yes, you can. Vice President Thompson.
Here.
Board Member McKnight.
Present.
Board Member McKinney.
Here.
Board Member Carlson. Here. Board Member Johnson.
Here.
Secretary Meeks. Here.
Pam Cook, Recording Secretary.
Troy Yarbrough, Superintendent.
Shelley Wagner, Human Resources.
Scheller, Curriculum Instruction.
Jason Bloom, Communications, Community Relations.
Josh Rand, Business and Operations.
All right,
Here we go.
Dr. Blue.
They were just doing a little pep talk, so.
That's all right. Hands on home.
It's my pleasure tonight to have students from Olson Park joining us. Eventually. So I'd like to introduce Mari Nelson, our Olson Park principal, here with her students.
Hello, everyone. We invited Students of the Month from April and May, and obviously it's a busy time of year, so this is who could attend. So can you guys say your name and your grade?
Amelia Adcock in 5th grade. We had Jackson Thomas Slater, Mrs. Osgood in 3rd grade. Julian Alley in 1st grade.
Sophia Rayjack in 2nd grade. Emma in 1st grade. Kevin Coburn in 1st grade.
Please stand if you're able. Okay, if you guys look over here. 1, 2, 3.
Everything is
Nice one, and then we'll do a silly one. Ready? Everybody smile. Jackson scoots this way a little bit. There you go. Sophia, that way just a little so we can see. There we go. Now we can take everybody. Okay, silly.
No, silly. It was on it. I think it's better. Good request.
All right, can I get consent for approval of the agenda?
Yes.
The roll call, I think on that one, right? Don't we use? Yeah, okay.
Board Member McKnight.
Yes.
Board Member McKinney.
Yes.
Board Member Carlson.
Yes.
Board Member Johnson.
Yes.
Secretary Meeks. Vice President Thompson.
Aye.
We're a little early on these. Dr. Yarbrough, thank you. Vice President Thompson, the mission of Harlan Consolidated School District as a vital part of the community is to help diverse learners realize their limited potential by providing an educational program dedicated to academic excellence and development of strong character in a safe and respectful learning environment.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Can I get consensus can I get approval of board meeting minutes and closed session from April 27th, 2026, and special board meeting closed session minutes from April 27th, 2026?
Motion.
Second. Board Member McKinney?
Aye.
Board Member Carlson?
Yes.
Board Member Johnson?
Aye.
Secretary Meeks? Aye. Vice President Thompson?
Aye.
Board Member McKnight?
Aye.
Jason, I'm right back at you.
Yeah.
There you are. I'm so used to being right over here.
So, it is my pleasure now. It's my pleasure this evening. We have a couple different recognitions that we are going to do. So we get to honor this was only within the last week that we named these students champions. And I wrote it down because I was like, I'm gonna get this name wrong. And then, boom, we win. That's the name of our district Battle of the Books champions. We are excited to introduce our 4 students from Ralston and their teacher here to celebrate their big victory and win at the district battle of the books. And so many of our board members have been around for a long time, so they've heard about this competition. Some of them have participated in the past, and so pretty big deal to be the district winners. And so I'm going to turn over to Ms. Schmidt, our Ralston teacher that was part of this, talk a little bit about, and then we'll get some introductions of who these students are and all that kind of fun stuff. So I think she prepared like a 5-10 minute speech on that. So,
I was warned that he was gonna make me talk.
yes.
Luckily, I was warned because otherwise it couldn't go down. All right, this is under a minute. I am very proud to be standing here celebrating these girls for their championship. These 4 girls took home the trophy because of their intelligence, poise, and dedication. They read and reread the books. They practiced tirelessly at school and at home with each other and with their incredibly supportive families. More than that, they showed us what true teamwork looks like. They trusted each other completely. If one of the girls was sure of an answer, the others backed her up. I've had the privilege of teaching these 4 young ladies for the past 5 years. These girls are the definition of why we teach. They are phenomenal humans, a testament to their families, and a true reflection of great character. Please join me in congratulating our 2026 Battle of the Books champions.
Yeah, so first I gotta hear names. We've 5 years teaching them, so we can assume that you're 5th graders, right? All 4 of you? Yeah. So why don't you introduce yourself? Bella? Ruby?
Avery.
Okay, well, nice to meet you. Congratulations to you all. So my first question, because I just really am curious, like, how'd you come up with the name?
Well, we used the books, like we wanted to like go along with the books. Last year we had like a book that went along with the name, and like we just like it was just like one of our favorite books, and that's what we decided on. It's also one of our personal favorites, and then boom, and then we decided, wait, we really like this book, so why don't we make a name for it and make it our TV?
Awesome. Very cool, very cool. So for maybe some people that don't know what District Battle of the Books looks like, would one of you be willing to talk a little bit about what the competition was like? You can all chime in.
So it's like so there's like 10 books, and you have to know so they read a line and you have to know the title and author, and you have like under a minute to say it, and then once each like group from schools, there's like an ending one, and whoever wins that one goes against the district, and it's really fun, and it's awesome to be a part of. We've learned definitely to talk with your team, not just to blurt out an answer that you think, because if it's wrong, then if you didn't talk with your team, they might have other ideas.
So every time there's a question, do you get how much time to answer the question?
30 seconds.
30 seconds, okay. So you got a little bit of time to like kind of talk about it. All right. Anything else that you want to add?
So you can when different books have like different ways of writing, like if it's like poetry or something else, you can definitely hear like, oh, they're rhyming, or like, oh, they're doing this and that goes with this book, or oh, they said this and this goes with this book, so that kind of makes sense if you said this. And that usually helps when it gets a little confusing. And so we use those like evidence to find out, oh, I've heard this, or oh, this makes sense.
Awesome, very cool. Well, it is a big deal to win, one, to participate and be a part of it and read all those books, but obviously to win and beat all the other schools in the district battle books is pretty amazing. So congratulations to you. Thank you, Mr. Schmidt, for helping support this. And, you know, obviously we look forward to see you next year, but you're going to be in 6th grade next year, so, you know, maybe there's something else. So congratulations.
Did they beat the teachers or administrators? Did they do that this year?
So Chesney are teachers.
Oh, okay. We don't know about it all. I bet I could guess.
I know, I heard about it. That's awesome. They were telling me about it. Okay, keep following me here. Here we go. All right. 1, 2, 3. Alex. Representative Alston.
There it is, the shameless plug.
Yeah.
I was waiting for it the whole time.
He was waiting for it.
Everybody knows.
This evening, we have the opportunity, well, I'm going to wait to kind of share some of this. Pretty cool. So, you guys want to kind of come in, we'll form a long line.
Yeah. Just mark it on their calendar before it's even there.
We'll just face them. I'm going to move kind of to the side here. So, it is my pleasure to introduce 2 bowling teams from Parma Middle School. And I just want to say this one, not that these kids have all been in middle school for this long, but we have 9 state championships in the last 5 years across this program, which is probably pretty unheard of in any sport. But and so we've got our boys bowling team, our girls bowling team, Coach Kelly here. Obviously, you can see by all this hardware that they're wearing, we're going to make them stand and hold it for a while. It's pretty heavy, but pretty amazing. We've seen the success of our varsity program, but I truly believe that this is all started at this level and even earlier. And a big kudo to Kelly, who's been a part of these programs, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th grade. And you're seeing the fruits of that labor, and pretty amazing to have 5-time state champions and then 4 out of 5 with our boys bowling team. And so I'm going to turn over to Kelly, let her talk a little bit about the season.
Yeah.
We'll hear these kids' names, what grade they're in, all that kind of stuff. But a pretty big deal to have a program as strong and successful as this one. So
Thank you, sir. Appreciate you.
Yeah.
Thank you, board, to have us here again today. First of all, I'd like to acknowledge our other coaches. Without them, we could not do what we do because we have so many kids to start the season. Coach Rob Dahlmeyer, he was the boys' head coach this year. Coach Ryan Abruzzo, Coach Kim Cady, and Coach Brian Ellis. And along with Neil Papini and numerous high school bowlers who give back to this program, but also to our Harlem 2nd through 5th grade program, which we run from September to December. So that is our lead up into middle school. Our middle school program had 7 5th graders, and the rest of our program was 6th through 8th grade, roughly 55 bowlers total this year. Our IESA program had 16 boys and 9 girls. The 5 girls that were on the IESA team and 4 5th grade girls who were siblings or relatives of girls that have been through the program that moved on to the high school program. We want to keep those girls together, keep them moving up, and by golly, they're going to move right on up. Our IESA program competed on Saturdays at different middle school tournaments throughout the area and the state. Our sectional teams are chosen from competing in our Saturday tournaments. And right now, I'd like to introduce you to our boys team. Daxton Buckman, who's not here tonight, but he is an 8th grader. He was a 2023 qualified as an individual for IESA State. 2024, he was all sectional for 6th place, and also IESA State individual and finished 29th place. In 2026, this year, he was the team sectional champion and the state team sectional champion. He will move on to high school bowling. Daxton Buckman. We've got Gage Hensley. Gage, you're right here with us. He's a 7th grader. He's a 7th grader, and in 2024, he qualified for state. In 2026, which is this year right here, he was sectional team champion and state team champion. He bowled a 627 in the 3 games that he bowled at state, which is a 209 average. Oh. Good job, Gage Hensley. Jace Liam is also in 7th grade. In 2026, he was IESA sectional individual, 4th place with a 793. And he was also on the sectional team that won sectionals and the state team. He finished in 18th place individually, missing all state by 8 pins. Ooh. But he'll be there next year. Yeah. That's Jace Liam Bruni. That's great. Blake Mitchell, 7th grade. All right, let's tell you about Blake.
Don't say the state.
Blake came to us from Virginia. All the way from Virginia. And the story goes, he bowled junior gold and many tournaments. He crossed with a gentleman, Charlie Wiedmeyer, Freeport bowler. They got to talking about, he's going into middle school and Dad was wanting to move. And they said, you need to move to the Harlem area. Why? Because they have the best middle school program. So they moved here. 1 year in, and he's a state champion. But lo and behold, it's because he was the individual sectional champion and with a 933, that's a 231 average for sectionals, which made the team a sectional champion, and then he is also part of our state championship team. That is Blake Mitchell. Logan Abruzzo, 7th grade. He is a 3-time IESA state qualifier, a 2-time all-sectional individual. In 2025, he was the individual sectional champion, and in 2026, he came into second place, 1 pin behind Blake. 1 pin. He's also obviously a sectional team champion for state, 3-time IESA All-State. Is a 5th grader. He was a 13th, 6th grader, 13th. This year, third place. He has an opportunity to earn all-state honors 4 times in 2027. That's Logan Abruzzo. Carter Dahlmeyer. He is in 8th grade. He is a 4-time IESA state qualifier, 2-time all-state individual. In 2025, he finished in 6th place with a 1980, and this year he finished in 8th place with a 1963. Sectional team champion for 25 and 26, and also team champion for 2026. This is Carter Dahlmeyer, and besides him being the bowler that he is, he's also gone through the program to make himself a coach, and he helps the elementary school bowlers that we have, 2nd through 5th grade. This is Carter Dahlmeyer. Our boys won state by a total of 335 pins, and this was their 3rd state championship in the past 5 years. They both,
I'm sorry.
Yeah, you're fine. Give us more. We'll take another one this year. Well, we have 4 7th graders coming back, so the odds that they can do it again are in our favor.
Put it on the calendar. Mark it on the calendar.
Yep, mark it on your calendar. So that's 4 state championships overall, and this is our boys bowlers. All right, now our ladies. We have 4 out of our 5 here. We're gonna start with Katerina Katie. She's in 6th grade. She's a phenomenal artist, and we are so blessed that she wanted to bowl with us because we only had 4 girls. We needed at least 5. And Katerina with the help of Grandma convincing you that you were gonna be our bowler, and she's a lefty, so we need a lefty. She, as bowling with our program just one time, as a sixth grader, she is obviously a state champion and a sectional champion. That's Katarina Katie coming back. Mia Washington, she is seventh grade. She's a two-time IESA state qualifier, and she's also a member of obviously this team, which took sectionals and for state. And Mia is gonna be one of the leaders on the team for next year, because she is in seventh grade. And we're blessed to have her coming back. Mia Washington, that's Mia Washington. Kaylin Deary is not here, but she is one of our eighth graders. She's a two-time IESA state qualifier, 2026 sectional team champion, sectional, all sectional for sixth place. And then she also was a member of the state team, and she was all-state in ninth place at 1710 with a 171 average. And I know she's moving on to high school bowling, and that was Haylin Deary. Melanie Ellis. Melanie Ellis is a four-time IESA state qualifier, three-time IESA all-sectional individual, two-time IESA sectional team champion. And in 2026, she was all-state third place with a 1914, which is a 191 average. She's a two-time IESA state team champion. This is Melanie Ellis, and she's moving on to high school. And then we have Leah Basevic. She's a four-time IESA state qualifier. And the reason why some of these are like three-time, four-time, they were part of our elementary program that we were able to co-op and get into IESA. So these girls are part of the Machese Elementary program that was able to compete a couple of years ago. Okay, again, one time. She's a four-time IESA state qualifier, two-time IESA sectional team champion, all sectional, second place as a sixth grader, 10th place as a fifth grader, and back-to-back sectional champions. She is also a two-time sectional, excuse me, I already said that. She is a two-time IESA team champion and a two-time IESA individual state champion. In 2025, she had a score of 1898. This year, she had a score of 2155, which is a 215 average. Yes, yes. She was huge. The whole team was huge. Our girls won state by 761 pins.
Wow. It's like a whole
Yes,
person.
we did. And then we got state championship in a row, and that's unprecedented. I was thrilled with 4, but 5 is so sweet, because it's like, how is anybody gonna do that again? We could, I'll tell you that much. But anyway, so I am so very proud of each and every one of these individuals. They're staying with the program and are moving on to high school bowling, and that's what our goal is. And I think they're gonna be fantastic individuals, fantastic human beings, and I appreciate the opportunity, everyone.
Obviously, there's not much more that can be said, but good job. Hard work obviously gets you where you're at. I want to again thank the coaches though too, because it takes all of you to pour into these kids, to support them, to help them, to train them, all of that stuff that goes along with being a coach. And so we're grateful for your commitment to the program, and we will pencil you in for next year.
Oh, let's do that.
So, sounds good. Well, let's stand. I'm gonna have you kind of all turn. We're gonna scrunch together. The board members might have to stand in front of some of you.
I resemble that remark.
Boys stand on this side, and
I can only be taller than a third grader. You good? You good?
Here we go. 1, 2, 3.
Single file there, single file.
5, Congratulations on a great season.
Huge season, great season.
Appreciate it.
You guys are awesome.
That when Duck couldn't bowling for the first time, you kick everything you know about bowling, like just throw it out the window. Where'd you go? Cahoots, that thing plays downtown Rockford.
Okay, get in there.
It's, the food is outstanding. I will say.
All right, so we have.
Yeah, here, going back.
Yep. So the two other groups do it already, so you got it figured out. So we have one more recognition tonight. This is an honor to kind of highlight our Educators Rising program. I know some of you sitting here got a chance to be a part of the college signing that we had for those that are going into education, which is a big deal, obviously, in our profession, the world of work here. And so I'm excited. I'm going to turn it over to Stacey Nicole from Harlem High School. Talk a little bit about Educators Rising, about the two students that are here, about the students that participated in this conference, which is a great opportunity. We've had them here before, to really help our kids get that chance to connect to others that are interested in the education profession. They do a great job with their conference, and there's a lot of activities and a lot of growth and things that happen, but they also get to do some competition stuff. So I'll turn it over to you to talk to us about it.
You did a good job.
I was also going to add that it's always hard to follow the Harlem bowling program. So we're part of Educators Rising. It's a club for students who think they want to be teachers in the future. This is our 6th year of having the program in the district, so it's fairly new thing to the state of Illinois, but we have been at every conference from their very first to this past year, which you can see growth tremendous just in the conference itself over the time. We had 4 students participate this year. 2 were unable to be with us tonight. Peyton Filipowitz, who is a senior, she earned 2nd place in her children's literature story. Avery Anderson did one in a job interview. She cannot be with us because she's on the Vets Roll trip, and I keep getting updates from that, which is so awesome, and I'm extremely jealous of her. And then we had 2 additional. So we have Maya Miners, who is a junior, and she participated in a speech competition. After a little convincing and maybe twisting of the arm a little bit, she gave a super powerful speech about the importance of positive teachers and impacts in our lives and how that could make such a huge difference in lots of hardships throughout school. And we have Thelma Martinez, who is a sophomore, who also gave a speech about being a teacher and the power of that and what that means to her. She gave her speech in Spanish, and she earned 1st place in the state of Illinois for her JV competition. So we had some really good showings this time, and we're hoping that we can get them to maybe try again with us next year and if you join us as well. So, yeah.
Well, I'm going to put you on the spot, but you obviously have given a speech already. So either of you or both.
There's only like 5 of us here. Probably less people.
Yeah. Yep. Talk a little about the experience. Like, how was it participating, or if you want to talk about the club in general, like what it kind of means to you and the support that you get.
For me, I would say like just standing in front of people, that's always been a struggle for me, especially like in elementary and like just growing up in general. And it gave me a lot of confidence, and I'm glad you guys hosted me. That was an experience I'll never get back.
Absolutely.
And she did tremendous. It was amazing.
Yeah, I was going to add too, I had her for 6th grade, and now I have her in high school, and she has matured and grown so much, and I'm just like so proud of her to see this growth.
That's very cool.
Yeah, it was honestly really fun for me. I really enjoyed competing with other people, and it was a little bit awkward for me because it was like some random people in my room, so I had to present to a lot more people than I was expecting. But overall, it was really fun, and I really liked talking in front of everybody.
And she also did a tremendous job. Amazing.
Well, and I'm sure that you represented us well, that, and proud that you have taken those steps into what I believe is an incredibly rewarding profession. A big thank you to you guys as well. Like, we know that on the daily, like, you have these people that are in front of you in your classes and stuff like that, and the profession, like, you get a chance to see what it's like to be a teacher every single day, and you get to have those positive relationships. And I'm sure there's people, as you were going through that speech, that were coming to mind, maybe one of these two, yep, absolutely. You know, and so, like, you recognize that impact, and now to have that chance in a few years to be able to do the same and be that impact for future kids is pretty awesome. And like I said, at the Educated Rising thing, the lady over there is in HR, so she's the person that hired me. So in a few years, when you get through college, well, you got a few more years, but in a few years when you graduate here and then you go on to college, you know, I'll give you her phone number so you can. But congratulations on job well done. Look forward to seeing kind of what happens, and look forward to hopefully getting to work alongside you here in a few years. And thank you to you too for putting your time. Clubs and you know, advisory program, you know, all the stuff that we have, the organizations. You know, we offer a lot of great things that get kids connected to interests and stuff like that. But we know how much time that takes as well. And so we're grateful for the commitment that you make and the impact you're having on these two and the others in the program. So congratulations. Yes.
What grades are you looking to teach?
I'm looking to teach like college students, like a college.
Oh, definitely 4th or 5th.
Well, if you change your mind about college, I'm sure we're working on that. But 4th or 5th, that sounds great. So.
College is too much.
Yeah. Well, congratulations, job well done at the conference. But again, thank you for wanting to invest in the future of our kids in the coming years, and look forward to seeing what happens next for you too. So, congratulations. One more picture. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. All right. Thank you.
Yes, they do.
It's gonna be a few years. Sure.
Do we have any comments for the community? All right. Josh, we move to approval of the bills?
This is a one-time clear out of the room.
Yes, and we need a record number of,
Everybody's going.
I do tell them all that they should leave.
I think it sticks around this committee at this point.
Just so they don't get fined. Okay. For the bills, the total payables were $1,061,106.17. There were void checks of $1,017.26. One payroll this period in the amount of $3,565,694.66 for total expenditures of $4,626,800.83. Split out by fund, the education fund paid $3,970,838.39. The operations and maintenance fund paid $239,245.57. The transportation fund paid $278,379.02. The IMRF Social Security Fund paid $123,711.46. Capital Projects Fund paid $13,926.39. And the Life Safety Fund paid $700. Again, for total expenditures of $4,626,800.83. Are there any unanswered bill questions?
What was the $700 for life safety? No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
I can get it for you.
I know you could.
So if there's no other questions, that's it for the bills.
Thank you. Dr. Michelle Erb.
Thank you. At your seat today, there was a travel. It came in this afternoon. It is for boys track. The sectional track meet is in Antioch on Thursday. That's where they will determine who qualifies for state. We're hoping to be able to send some individuals there the following weekend, and so bringing it to the board tonight prior to. The state meet is always at Eastern Illinois, typically the most hot and humid weekends of the year. But I am hopeful that we can send some boys there to participate. So I'm just asking for approval this evening.
Thank you. Back to you, Josh.
All right, I only have 34 items this evening, so I will kind of read through them if anyone has
Made everyone else
questions.
leave, there wasn't already left.
I won't ask 34 times if there's any questions. If you guys have anything, just let me know. So my first item is a recommendation to approve a resolution declaring surplus property at the Administration Center, Windsor, Ralston, Marquette, McChesney, Maple, Property Services, Loves Park, and Olson Park. I did note that there's a couple things that we're removing from the surplus. So on the first page, there are 2 lines for Parker Center. Those are not going to be surplused. And on the second page, anything that's at foundations from Loves Park will not be surplus there either. Good on that? Okay. 10B2 is a recommendation to accept the March 2026 Treasurer's Report. Next is a recommendation to approve a renewal quote for the Treasurer's Bond for FY27 with a limit of $7,300,000 in the amount of $6,464. 10B4 is a recommendation to award Rock Cut Parking Lot project bid to Norwest Construction for a base bid of $209,550. We're also recommending the alternate bid, which is the Marquette Path, to be redone at a total cost of $12,475.65 for a total bid award of $222,025.65. 10B5 is a recommendation to award Harlem Middle School painting corridor project bid to Midwest Decorating, Inc. with a base bid of $48,500 and an alternate number 1 at a cost of $32,100 for a total bid of $80,600. This is the 200 and the 300 hallway, which completes the core teaching spaces in the middle school. Next is a recommendation to approve the memorandum of understanding with Hagney Architects for Harlem High School for the replacement of boilers. So this would be like the use of our life safety funds from last year's bond, and this is approval to allow the architects and engineers to put together the plans to put this out to bid to replace the boilers at the high school. 10B7 is a recommendation to approve an MOU with Hagney Architects for Harlem High School for a fire alarm systems upgrade. So with those same funds, whatever's remaining, we will update by priority the fire alarm system at the high school.
And those are the ones that are the new digital, or is it the weather ones? Or the digital?
The fire alarm, so that is just how it reports out. So last year, when we did the CTE, we replaced the head end of the fire alarm, and obviously the addition has the updated fire alarm, so this is by priority going to the rest of the building and updating it. 10B8 is a recommendation to approve an agreement with Thayer Energy Solutions to update lighting, to bring it up to LED lighting in Windsor Elementary School.
Josh, why is that important?
So we've been doing quite a few lighting projects because of the incentive that we get from ComEd, because of the energy costs it takes to light these buildings, and just repair and maintenance of updating our fixtures.
So we'll be net positive very shortly afterwards.
Yep, absolutely.
And then saving money.
Yes.
Just wanted to get that out there. So we've been doing a lot of lighting projects, and that's the main reason. I just want to keep saying it. It's a little cost up front, but a lot of savings in the.
The bigger lighting project at the high school, ComEd paid for almost 90% of the cost of that. So.
Have we seen a lot of issues with the LEDs? I know some people have, these LEDs, they just go out constantly, or have they gotten better at?
No, I mean, so far, so good.
Okay.
And that's why we wanted.
Industrial ones, big old heat sinks, you're set at home overheat.
10B9 is a recommendation to approve a membership with Northern Illinois Council of Governments, or NorthCog, for an annual cost of $2,500.
Recommend a new name.
Just a terrible name.
That is a group of other cities, school districts, and governmental units in the Few County region.
Good program, silly name, got it.
Yep. Next is a recommendation to appoint a benefits consultant in Centisure for a monthly cost of $6,500. 10B11 is a recommendation to approve an agreement with Permar Security Services for the installation of cellular communications at all district buildings for a total cost of $21,294.25, paid with Title IV funds.
Can we assume that this is gonna lower phone costs all around?
Yes, this will lower our monthly cost over the fax POTS lines that we have now. Yes. Next is a recommendation to approve a one-year extension agreement with Athletico Management LLC to provide athletic training services for a total cost of $39,725. 10B13 is a recommendation to approve a renewal with Thomas Reuters Clear and LPR software that will assist with residency verification for a 3-year agreement at an average yearly cost of $17,717.
That's a.
We confirmed that there was no of our data being.
Yes, but that amount is not correct. That's the original. So the average, it's 1405, then 1475, and then 1549.
Sorry.
It went the right direction. It went down.
Yes, yeah. So that would have been the original had we kept with the option 1, which was 3 users. We bumped it down to 2 users.
Here we go.
To reduce that down to an average of 1460, 1470.
That's right, we did say that.
Do you want me to get the exact amount so you can read that? Probably.
Well, why don't you do that for the voting item?
Okay.
Yeah, for the voting out.
Yeah.
Has this been a big help, Jason?
Yes. I mean, it's helpful for us for just residency verification and on our end, being able to verify things, but I would say that the probably not measurable cost is that, you know, most of our families do not need to provide residency, so instead of everybody turn that stuff in and having our team have to process all of that, we can just focus on who we need to focus on. So it does expedite the process for families as well, but it's been a big help for us as a team. We've been able to reduce the number of staff that are really involved in the registration process because of it, so.
Do we feel like there are a lot of families possibly that we're arguing with about, or just kind of telling them, sorry, you can't come?
No, there's, yeah, we work through all of those, so, you know, this year was 402 families that did not pass clear, but many of those, you know, it's just from a reporting piece, and so we work through that to provide the stuff, and so I would say that, you know, probably 80 to 85% of them are fine. They just provide the updated information as requested, and then there's others that we have to explore further. But it does give us data to help us be able to do that. Otherwise, it's, you know, it's a lot of investigative time to really kind of figure that out. So.
Good. 10B14 is a recommendation to approve an agreement with Relevant Science Education LLC and ROE 17 to provide 2 professional development workshops for secondary science teachers for a cost of $5,354.67, paid with Title II funds. 10B15 is a recommendation to approve an agreement for professional development with HMH Amira and Waggle for Loves Park Elementary for a cost of $8,400, paid with Title I SIG funds or school improvement grant funds. 10B16 is a recommendation to approve an agreement for professional development with HMH Into Reading for a cost of $4,200, paid with Title II funds. Next is a recommendation to approve an independent contractor agreement with Speech Horizons, Inc. to provide private and parochial speech and language services for $100 per hour for 37 hours at 24 hours per week for the FY27 school year at a total cost of $88,800, funded by the IDEA Flow-Through Part B grant and Pre-K IDEA grant. 10B18 is a recommendation to approve an independent contractor agreement with Christina Gochner to provide bilingual psychological evaluations at a cost of $900 per academic assessment per student and $1,100 per academic and cognitive assessment per student, paid with IDEA Flow Through Part B. 10B19 is a recommendation to approve an independent contractor agreement with Bright Beginnings Bilingual Therapy LLC to provide speech and language evaluations for 2026-2027 school year at $1,000 per evaluation for pre-K through second grade students and $1,400 per evaluation for third through 12th grade students, $80 per hour for screening and miscellaneous services paid with IDEA flow through Part B and IDEA pre-K. That'll be a mouthful, Kurt.
You're doing great. I'm gonna, everyone just focus on this part of the tape.
10B20 is a recommendation to approve an agreement with Crisis Prevention Institute to provide professional development and for the registration for CPI training for Train the Trainer for a cost of $5,988 even, paid with IDEA flow through Part B. 10B21 is a recommendation to approve a renewal agreement with Teaching Strategies Gold for a one-year subscription at $4,746 even, paid with local funds. Next is a recommendation to approve a renewal agreement with Mystery Science for a one-year subscription at a total cost of $12,593 paid with local funds. 10B23 is a recommendation to approve a one-year renewal agreement with Curriculum Associates for iReady assessment for grades K through 8 at a cost of $48,592.50 paid with local funds. 10B24 is a recommendation to approve a one-year renewal with Amira Learning for iStation in Espanol program for a total cost of $4,410 paid with Title IV funds. 10B25 is a recommendation to approve an agreement with Music Play Online for a one-year subscription for a cost of $1,000 paid with Title IV funds. 10B26 is a recommendation to approve a one-year renewal agreement with Second Step for online curriculum subscription for a cost of $3,199 paid with Title IV funds. 10B27 is a recommendation to approve an agreement with DBQ Online for a one-year subscription renewal at a total cost of $2,800 paid with Title IV funds. Next is a recommendation to approve an agreement with FastBridge for a one-year subscription renewal at a cost of $9,630 paid with the IDEA grant. 10B29 is a recommendation to approve an agreement with Formative or Newsela for instruction and assessment platform for teachers at a cost of $24,934.24 paid with local funds. 10B30 is a recommendation to approve a contract renewal with Embrace Education, Inc. for Embrace IEP and 504 platforms and website access for $20,162.25 for the FY27 school year, funded by the IDEA grant. 10B31 is a recommendation to approve a renewal agreement with Woodcock Johnson V. for a one-year subscription at a total cost of $7,940.40 paid with the IDEA grant. Next is a recommendation to approve an agreement with Pearson Digital Assessment Library for a one-year subscription for a cost of $24,327 even paid with the IDEA grant. 10B33 is a recommendation to approve an agreement with News to You, or Everway, for a one-year subscription renewal for a cost of $26,909.25, paid with the IDEA grant. And finally, 10B34 is a recommendation to approve an agreement with Readtopia for a one-year subscription for a total cost of $2,840.87, paid with the IDEA grant.
Thank
you.
Thank you. Can we go over that one more time?
Yeah, sure.
We will. From the top.
Yeah. One more time.
I'm gonna wait to ask questions then.
I think one call out too is we did go through each individual one, but again, this is a second year where each time that this was brought up committee as a whole, everyone that had something kind of vouched what it was doing, and then the discount or increase what they did to keep that low for another year. So that was fantastic to hear. keep up the good job of keeping the cost down. And with that, Dr. Shelley Wagner.
Thank you, Vice President Thompson. Tonight's recommendation to approve the personnel and agenda and addendum, so there's both, includes 2 stipend employments, 4 resignations, and 4 retirements. That ends my report tonight.
Thank you, Will.
Dr. Yarborough.
Thank you, Vice President Thompson. So I have a few items here. 10D1, a recommendation to approve board and committee meeting dates beginning with the month of July 2026. So there's a draft there for you all to look at there. I think when we get to that portion, you guys can, if you guys have discussions and things like that, we can talk through it. Next is 10D2, recommendation to approve first reading of policy updates for May 13th, 2026 policy committee meeting. Have those there. And then going down to, there's a lot of policies there. I only have 2 FOIA requests to read for you this evening. 10D3, dated April 15th of 2026, was submitted by Sion Choi from the data breach, requesting a spreadsheet or equivalent file containing all purchase orders.
Data branch?
Data branch, I'm sorry, data branch, not breach. Thank you for catching me there. So data branch requesting a spreadsheet or equivalent file containing all purchase orders issued between January 1st, 2021 and the present. The district responded to the request on April 23rd, 2026 with the inclusive documents. And then 10D4, dated April 23rd, 2026, was submitted by Jeff McWilliams requesting a video footage from bus number 19 on the date of April 22nd, 2026 from 6:50 a.m. to 7 a.m. Also the driver's name, any and all complaints filed for her time employed with the Harlem School District. And the district responded to the requester on May 1st, 2026 with the applicable documents. And that is my report.
All right, on to the consent agenda. We'll go with 11A, approval of personal agenda and addendum.
Second. Did I hear somebody motion over there? Yeah. You gotta speak up.
Sorry. Motion.
Thank you. Second.
Board Member McKinney?
I heard it.
Aye.
Board Member Carlson?
Yes.
Board Member Johnson?
Aye.
Secretary Meeks? Aye. Vice President Thompson?
Aye.
Board Member McKnight?
Aye.
All right.
Now this is
So if we, you're going through these, can I get consensus that we can vote on these collectively? I will read through all of them, but at the end, instead of going through and doing a vote on every one, we can do one vote to encompass all of them?
Josh read all of those.
I mean, I can read them.
He has to read them.
I'm gonna read them, then it would be twice.
And Kurt,
Or take a vote each one.
I was wrong. That is the correct amount. I was thinking the monthly amount, so. It
We'll
is
just
a
take that
savings.
out from your,
It's,
We don't let
that's,
him math very.
I know, we don't have to. It is a savings of $1,000 per year. So-
But their cost went up and we're saving money.
Yeah,
because we
it's
changed our
$1,000 from
users.
current, and it's a $3,000 savings based on what they proposed, but $1,000 less than what we currently pay per year. So I apologize for misreading that.
You're good.
Give me 1 second.
All right. Kurt, you can tap a friend in a minute. I mean, I think.
Josh did it, I think I can do it.
Perfectly legal.
All right, 12A, approve resolution declaring surplus property. 12B, accept March 2026 treasurer's report. 12C, approve renewal quote for the treasurer's bond FY27 with a limit of $7,300,000 in the amount of $6,464. 12D, award rock cut parking lot project bid to Norwest Construction for a base bid of $209,550,000. Alternate bid Marquette Path at a cost of $12,475.65 for a total bid of $222,025.65. 12E, award Harlem Middle School painting corridor project bid to Midwest Decorating Incorporated with a base bid of $48,500 and an alternate number one at a cost of $32,100 for a total bid of $80,600. 12F, approve memorandum of understanding with Hagney Architects for Harlem High School for replacement of boilers. 12G, approve memorandum of understanding with Hagney Architects for Harlem High School for the fire alarm safety upgrades. 12H, approve an agreement with Thayer Energy Solutions to update lighting in Windsor Elementary School. 12I, approve membership with Northern Illinois Council of Governments, NorthCog, with an annual cost of $2,500. 12J, appoint benefits consultant in Centasure for a monthly cost of $6,500. 12K, approve an agreement with Permar Security Services for the installation of cellular communication at all district buildings for a total cost of $21,294.25, paid with Title IV funds. 12L, approve a one-year extension agreement with Athletico Management LLC to provide athletic training services for a total cost of $39,725. 12M, approve a renewal with Thomson Reuters Clear and LPR software that will assist with residency verification for a 3-year agreement at an average yearly cost of $17,717. 12N, approve an agreement with Relevant Science Education LLC and ROE 17 to provide 2 professional development workshops for secondary science teachers at a cost of $5,354.67, paid with Title II funds. 12O, approve an agreement with professional development with HMH Amira and Waggle for Loves Park Elementary for a cost of $8,400, paid with Title II funds. 12P, and approve an agreement for professional development with HMH Into Reading for a cost of $4,200, paid with Title II funds. 12Q, and approve an independent contractor agreement with Speech Horizons Incorporated to provide private parochial speech and language services for $100 per hour for 37 weeks at 24 hours per week for the FY27 school year at a cost of $88,800, funded by the IDEA Flow-Through Part B grant and Pre-K IDEA grant. 12R, approve an independent contractor agreement with Christina Gouchinier to provide bilingual psychological evaluations at a cost of $900 per academic assessment per student and $1,100 per academic and cognitive assessment per student, paid with the IDEA Flow-Through Part B. 12S, approve an independent contractor agreement with Bright Beginnings Bilingual Therapy LLC to provide speech and language evaluations for the 2026-2027 school year at $1,000 per evaluation for pre-K through 2nd grade students and $1,400 per evaluation for 3rd through 12th plus grade students, $80 per hour for screening for miscellaneous services, paid with the IDEA Flow-Through Part B and IDEA Pre-K. 12T, and approve an agreement with Crisis Prevention Institute to provide professional development for the registration for CPI training for Train the Trainer at a cost of $5,988, paid with the IDEA Flow-Through Part B. 12U, approve an agreement with Teaching Strategies Gold for 1-year subscription at a cost of $4,746, paid with local funds. Approve renewal agreement with Mystery Science for a 1-year subscription at a total cost of $12,593, paid with local funds. 12W, approve a 1-year renewal agreement with Curriculum Associates for iReady assessment for grades K through 8 at a cost of $48,592.50, paid with local funds. 12X, approve a 1-year renewal with Amira Learning for Incitation on Espanol program for a total of $4,410, paid with Title IV funds. 12Y, approve an agreement with Music Play Online for a 1-year subscription at a cost of $1,000, paid with Title IV funds. 12Z, approve a one-year renewal agreement with Second Step for an online curriculum subscription for a cost of $3,199 paid with Title IV funds. 12AA, approve an agreement with DBQ Online for a one-year subscription renewal at a cost of $2,800 paid with Title IV. 12AB, approve an agreement with FastBridge for a one-year subscription renewal at a cost of $9,630 paid with IDEA grant. 12AC, you need AC right now, approve an agreement with Formative Newslia for instruction and assessment platform for teachers at a cost of $24,934.24 paid with local funds. 12AD, approve a contract renewal with Embrace Education Incorporated for Embrace IEP and 504 platforms and website access for $20,162.25 for the FY27 school year, funded by the IDEA grant. Approve a renewal agreement with Woodcock Johnson V for a one-year subscription at a total cost of $7,940.40 paid with the IDEA grant. 12AF, approve an agreement with Pearson Digital Assessment Library for a one-year subscription at a cost of $24,327 paid with the IDEA grant. 12AG, approve an agreement with Everway, that's news to you, for a one-year subscription renewal at a cost of $26,909.25 paid with the IDEA grant. And 12AH, approve an agreement with Readtopia for a one-year subscription at a cost of $2,840.87 paid with the IDEA grant. Can I get a motion?
Motion. Second. Board Member Carlson?
Yes.
Board Member Johnson?
Aye.
Secretary Meeks? Aye. Vice President Thompson?
Aye.
Board Member McKnight?
Yes.
Board Member McKinney?
Aye. And you wonder why Michael didn't come tonight.
Yeah. We are going to move into 13 annual action items. 13A of these, how many do we have of these? Same thing again?
Yeah, if anybody has any questions.
Well, let's take a look
on it,
real
yes.
quick
Take
at
a
these,
look at
maybe we want to
those.
pull out.
Like discuss them.
It's only the B.
I just want to make sure, these are the other ones we went through
Because these are the
specifically.
ones that you will.
Is this where are we gonna, the equity and social justice to a superintendent advisory, I guess this is where you said to speak about it. Are we all okay with the 5 o'clock, it says 4:30. Are we okay with the 5 o'clock start time on that?
Are we talking COTW, correct?
Committee of the whole, but committee of the whole
13
starts.
How about this? Do we want to discuss 13R and 13T?
We can talk.
Yeah.
13T would be nice.
Yeah, I think at least those. Is there any others that we want to pull out and discuss? Because then what I can do is we can
Or
still
the
go through
RS
all of those.
It'd be RS and T.
Or we can do those first.
It would be RS and T because S and T are the same, essentially the
Oh,
same
yeah,
thing.
okay. Do you want to touch on those first then, and then we can go through collectively as one?
Honestly, let's just pull out R for right now, and unless somebody wants to volunteer to be a chair for that, I don't necessarily, with the committee of the whole, I don't necessarily think we need chairs for any of the committees.
Yeah.
I really.
What Mike and I talked about was still keeping the same individuals in the chair role, but it's more of a point of contact for us. So like past summer, Dr. Urban and I met with board member Diane and board member Diana, and we went over the themes, that we were going to report on for the month. Then also too, Kurt, with you being, someone that.
It's been helpful, exactly right. Josh and Brett will reach out with something just to get like a sanity check to see.
Yeah, and then board member Carlson with policy, it just gives us someone to make contact with. So it's different than how we used to have it when they were separate.
Right.
But it's still a point of contact.
Yeah.
And then Ms. Evelyn, my hope is would help us with the ESJ committee, even though it's going to be a superintendent committee meeting, can be separate, but she can help us with that, and then someone else can obviously come as well. So that's a suggestion for you guys.
Now going through this one, this wasn't I would move probably to keep everything the same role unless anyone objects.
Correct.
Is this calling that out?
Mhm.
Because it says
Yeah.
appointment, but it doesn't say names or saying the
just
same.
keep it.
It'll stay the same.
So we agree to, yeah.
If we agree to say the same,
Let it say
I'm
the
okay
same.
with 13R.
Yep, good with it.
Okay.
And then 13, and I'll go through and read all these, but just discuss. So 13S, is there any, we kind of discussed this at committee as a whole. Is there any discussion, issue, or anything like that, or we can move that one to vote?
Yeah.
And this is the movement of the Equity and Social Justice Committee to the Superintendent Advisory Committee.
And that one doesn't have a time change.
It'll
That
be,
one doesn't.
and the date change too, so it's no longer with
Right.
committee of the whole.
Do that.
Yeah, and so
It'll be
what,
then disconnected.
what our plan is, and of course, we're gonna have more discussions about this, but committee of the whole is on Wednesday night. We would have, the Equity and Social Justice Committee, as a superintendent committee on Thursday, which would give me an opportunity to kind of gather all of that information before a board meeting, and now I'm able to report out at a board meeting, so that would be the flow.
And for those of us who want to attend the superintendent,
Mhm.
the
You
time
can-
would stay the same at 4:30?
4:30. Yep.
It doesn't have to follow any open meeting act requirements, so it's a superintendent committee, so you don't have to set to a certain schedule or day, but
Right.
for consistency's sake, it is helpful for people.
All right.
And
And then
then-
5 o'clock instead of 4:30 is what it says on the calendar.
No, 5 o'clock is for the board meetings. That's for your regular board meetings.
Never mind, I'm good.
And that's the one, that's
Board
that-
meeting
that's
day.
what I just have kind of
Well,
a
yeah,
question
it had-
for.
It had committee of the whole at 4:30.
Committee of the whole will still be at
Yeah.
4:30.
We're still gonna hold that at 4:30.
Right, but board meetings though, instead of it being 6,
We're gonna
we
move to
talked
5.
about it after 5, but again, that's discussion with board members.
I think it's less us, and and that one I almost want some feedback from the community, right? Like, I don't want to move, if we move, and maybe Jason, you have some feedback to this, because you organize where you have these students that are coming in to do the pledge. We've got students coming in to share their accomplishments.
Right.
And we've got parents sometimes that work till 5. So trying to do that, grab something to eat, make sure everything's ready to get in here on time. While I appreciate where you guys could then, your already long day would be slightly shorter, and I can appreciate that. I want to make sure that we don't negatively impact our reach to the community, and bringing that an hour may do that.
Well, and that was brought up when we were doing the meetings for the consolidation, that they were too early, their start times were too early for some families and that kind of stuff, and I think with transparency, I mean, when I wasn't self-employed, a 5 o'clock meeting would almost be completely a no-go for me. You know, so, I'm flexible, but a lot of the families aren't, and we want as much participation with the community as possible. So
I also, sorry, I was listening here, we think of the other flip side of the coin, though, they could come at 5 o'clock and then still go home and have their dinner and have their homework done and things
But
like
they
that.
don't get
too,
off till
rather
5
than cutting
o'clock.
into the 6 o'clock, and by the time they get all done with their meetings, they go home, it's gotten later, so that's an idea too.
But can they get here by 5 is the question. I could not when I was working
Well, I
a
wouldn't wanna
regular
go any
job.
later than 6 o'clock, though. I mean,
Jason, any feedback now with 6 o'clock? Do you have pushback now with 6
We
o'clock?
have 5:45,
No, I'm not-
5:38.
I'm not saying that, I'm saying right now, you're organizing a lot of these things to come in. What do you
I've
hear
never,
about
I
the
tell
current
people,
time?
5:45, so, I mean, I had one here at 5:15, I think, so, you know, I think I haven't had any concern about 6 o'clock. I mean, I would say 5:30 is probably maybe a sweet spot, I wouldn't go maybe any earlier than that, but, I don't know, because I haven't asked if 5:30 would.
Where did the 5 o'clock come from about that point, right? Where did that get introduced?
We were just looking at like surrounding districts and what
Okay.
times, you know, they kind of have theirs as well. And the sweet spot, like Jason said, what we did find was like 5:30. We just proposed 5 o'clock, you know, for the board to have a discussion, but the sweet spot was 5:30 when we were looking around in the area, so.
I don't, I mean, I could ask, I don't know. I mean, I look at like the YouTube like stream right now, which is obviously something people can watch after the fact.
You could watch it
I've got
after.
3 people watching and I'm one of them, so. There's two people watching.
How many were there at
Michael might be
6?
1, so, I did get to 5 at one point, so. You know, that accessibility, I do think, since we started streaming, you know, people don't necessarily have to be. So the only concern I have is, to your point, is making sure that the awards and recognition, because I prefer, if at all possible, to keep that towards the front end, because
Oh,
if we move
absolutely,
it
yeah.
backwards, then we don't know, well, it could be 6, it could be 6:30 by the time we get to you, so having
And
that
Josh
up
would know
front
what
is
to do with
helpful.
himself.
Yeah, people,
We
yeah.
could do the bills before the recognition.
So-
People will be like, no, I'm good being recognized, I'm good, I'll take it.
So it sounds like we've got some ideas here, but I'm not hearing anything that's, like, we did the due diligence of seeing what's done around. This would still be the earliest at even 5 o'clock.
I think 5:30 would be a good compromise, and I think we could
If
pretty
we
much
change,
run
need to
with
change
that.
or alter that. We do this at 5:30 and parents are like, I can't get there, and it does take a hit, right? Like, we're able to then bring that back up.
Well, if we start getting community feedback that that's too early, then yes, us as a board, we can always bring it back up.
Yeah, I figure, I'm
Yeah,
just
we can.
speaking it aloud, right?
We can always bring it back up if it becomes an issue, but I would suggest 5:30.
My only concern is with those few people that want to do comments, then of course have to not only turn it in before the meeting starts, but have to be here and be ready and then.
I think they can submit their comment via email, though.
Yeah. and
That
they
can be read, and then they can come and read it.
Right.
Yeah, they can send it to via email, and then they can come in to read it, so they don't have to come here. If they're here
If this is a 1 year,
5:40.
then we can easily do a 5:30, but if it's,
I think we try, I don't have to be a year. I think we just try it and see what the direct feedback.
We can change it next month.
And then we change
That's
it if
our-
we need to.
We put a public notice on the paper.
definitely go no
Yeah.
earlier.
Okay.
We vote on it and it approves, and then if we have one, we have to do a public notice in the paper saying we're changing this to a different time going forward.
Yeah, so we could do that.
Okay.
Yeah, so we can always change it if it becomes a problem for the community.
So I'll go through, but right now, do I have consensus for 5:30? Is that where we're?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
All right.
We should do like a 5:37, like
So
that's
now,
what it is.
all right.
All right, so now we go back.
You know,
All right.
So we're changing that one to 5:30, we're making a motion to change that to 5:30, or just?
We can consensus to do to 5:30, and now we're gonna.
Now we'll vote on it.
Now
I just
we'll
wanted to
Okay.
see where we're sticking and standing at. All right. 13A, approve resolution authorizing designated depositories. 13B, approve district bullying policy 7180 to be submitted to IASB. 13C, approve Open Meetings Act officials Pam Cook and Shannon Thompson. 13D, approve Freedom of Information Act FOIA officials Dr. Terrell Yarbrough, Dr. Shelley Wagner, Josh Aran, Pam Cook. 13E, approve and adopt Policy 2105, Ethics and Gift Band Resolution in compliance with State Officials and Employees Ethics Act 5 ILCS 430-1-1 ETSEQ, as added by PA 93-615 and 93-617. It's nicer when you said them first, Josh, I could copy. 13F, approve appointment of District Activity Accounts Manager, Assistant Superintendent for Business and Operations. 13G, approve appointment of Appeals Officer for Free and Reduced Meals, Assistant Superintendent for Business and Operations. 13H, approve appointment of District Complaint Managers, Assistant Superintendent for Business and Operations, Assistant Superintendent for Communications and Community Relations, and Assistant Superintendent for Curriculum and Instruction. 13I, approve appointment of Non-Discrimination Coordinator, Assistant Superintendent for Human Resources. 13J, approve appointment of Employer Equal Opportunity Commission, EEOC Officer, Superintendent. 13K, approve appointment of Fair Labor Standards Act, FLSA Compliance Official, Assistant Superintendent for Human Resources. 13L, approve appointment of Illinois Municipal Retirement Fund, IMRF Agent, Assistant Superintendent for Human Resources. 13M, approve appointment of Health Insurance Portability and Accountability Act of 1992, HIPAA Chief Privacy Officer, Assistant Superintendent for Human Resources. 13N, approve Food and Nutritional Hearing Officers, Kathy Finley. Is it Finley? Finley. Thank you. 13P, approve appointment of Due Process Hearings Officer, Kathy Finley.
I think you forgot all.
Oh, you forgot, thank you. I was keeping you on your toes.
It's still Kathy, though.
Yeah, it is, yes, that's probably why. 13L, approve appointment of Residency Hearing Officer, Kathy Finley. 13Q, approve appointment of Joshua Arand as district treasurer. 13R, approve the appointment of board chairs for the 2026 to 2027 board committees for business services, policy, and education. 13S, approve the movement of equity and social justice committees to a superintendent advisory committee. 13T, do I need to do anything for the modifications, or are we good from where it's at?
We got consensus.
Okay, perfect. I just want to make sure. Approve the 2026 to 2027 board and committee meeting dates. 13U, approve Robert's Rules of Order, newly revised 12th edition as a procedural guide pursuant to Board Policy 2-220. 13B, approve establishment of current board policies as the 2025 to 2026 board policies until said policies are changed by the board. And with that, can I get approval?
Motion.
Second.
Board Member Carlson?
Yes.
Board Member Johnson?
Aye.
Secretary Meeks? Aye. Vice President Thompson?
Aye.
Board Member McKnight?
Yes.
Board Member McKinney?
Aye.
Any announcements and discussions?
I had a question. We're looking at 13U and 13B. Why, if they're exactly the same, do we need to approve them?
Well, U is the 12th edition. Last year was the 11th edition.
Was it?
I don't know, this says new.
They get a new edition.
And I'm sure last year it was 2024 to 2025. I'm sure it's very procedural.
I understand B, but it just looks like U. I don't know if I pulled out mine, I suppose, but it just seems,
Well, let's Google it. When was the newest Robert's Rules?
But even now, you still have to approve it.
Not
Right.
that- not
Yeah,
that-
we could have said we're gonna go back to
Naive
5th
question.
edition, really. We
Right.
could have done that.
yes, just seems odd.
Yeah, I'm
because
sure.
they're basically the same, so either way.
Well, the 12th edition was published in 2020, so there's nothing new there. It's a procedural.
It's just,
Okay.
it's fine, so.
We can probably get the word new out of there if we really want.
I haven't found anything.
All right, any other? And with that, we don't have closed session. We've got everything else approved. And thanks for sticking with us, guys. And with that, could I get approval to adjourn?
Motion.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All right, thanks, guys.
See y'all.